Very cool. Okay, social dynamics, people. I love talking to people about especially sex related questions, and this is one of them. Woo! So it's about threesomes. And this guy actually says, I think you made a video about this. I remember you talking about it, and he calls it out really well. He says, just focus on getting the girls back to your place and escalating, which is true. Okay. So he's like, I'm talking to two girls right now. Both are interested, but they're best friends. I know if I escalate on one too much, she'll tell the other, and that could ruin it. So this is point number one that we could get to. And it's just a small point, but we'll cover that first. And then he says, do you think I should go to the bar with both of them, then pull them back, ask them to hang out with them during the day and lightly escalate on one and then meet up? And yeah, okay. So that part, it's like, well, I'll finish it reading it just in case you're thinking of it, because don't think in that direction. You're not wrong. It's awesome that you're thinking in this direction, but it's not going to be the best strategy. So he finished off with saying lightly escalate on one, then meet up with them both on a day two. So another person you could ask about this on the Facebook groups and so on is Gary, because he's done this a shitload, probably even more than me. So, threesomes, it's the dream of every man, and you should really, really like, dude, it's cool. So, I want everybody to do it, but once you do it, you might think there's a little bit of a difference. So actually, the first thing is, in the first video was like, you don't want to discuss this. Like, who gives a shit? Like, don't discuss it because it's just dumb. It's fantasy. So many people say yes to threesomes, but then they don't do it. All right. So it's like everybody's like, God, that's fucking hot. And you're like, with this girl, you're like, man, my girlfriend says she's down. She's going to fuck other chicks with me, and it's cool. And we talked about it, right? We talked about it. We were like all open, and we fucked each other and talked about it. And like, she was imagining all this stuff and I was imagining all this stuff. And then you go and talk to another girl, and then something happens, right? Something happens, right? And she's like, no. Or the other girl's like, well, wait a minute. Or there's confusion. And when sex gets to that volatile point, and there's a couple of them, there's like the choices to leave with the person after you've talked about it. Mistake number one. And there's then like getting in the door of the place where you're at and you're supposed to start having sex. It's like, whoa, there's a lot of like crazy shit that can happen there. And then when you're starting to get sexual, and if you do that wrong. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to sexual escalation, you have to see there's a difference between arousal and the sexual state. When you're in the sexual state, good to go. Okay. There's very little that can stop that. Of course, things can stop it. Ex-husband comes into the room or something or whatever, like it stops. Like I was talking about my buddy who was fucking this dude's girlfriend, and the guy broke into his house and beat his ass. Sex stopped, and it didn't continue. But there's big breaks that need to happen in order to get the state of sex to stop. Okay. The arousal state, which is all that talking too beforehand, but it's like the making out, it's the push pull. It's like, I want to do this, but I don't know. Or like, you don't know me. I never do this with anybody else. That's the arousal state. It's stopping and starting. Super volatile. Okay. So we need to get everybody into the sexual state. Sexual state, we're all good. Okay. So how do we get that? That's like the real thing. Now, the first question, or the first part of this that I had mentioned, is both are interested, but they're best friends. And I know if I escalate on one too much, she's going to tell the other. I wouldn't worry about that. Okay. So number one, this is separate. Okay, so this is kind of like when you're a dude that's getting laid a lot, and it sounds like you are. Props, man. I love having you on. Keep asking questions, because, man, you'll get the best advice. You'll be doing a favor for the entire group, right? Because when they get there, they'll have all these resources to pull from. So basically, the thing is that, let's say you sleep with a waitress at a restaurant. Let's say you sleep with a girl that's a part of a big social circle, and you fuck the shit out of her, and then you don't talk to her, or you continue to talk to her, or whatever. This actually just happened to my buddy. God, dude, this guy's so awesome. I give him advice and he takes it. And God, I wish I could pull up all the messages that he was sending me back and forth, and I was kind of coaching him through it. But I mean, he's a guy that gets laid a lot, so it's super easy. But he fucked this chick today. And then he was like, man, it was so funny because after I fucked her, she just got all ghetto. She called her friend that I actually know her friend, and was like, yep, I fucked him. He's got like an amazing, like right in front of him, all this sort of stuff and just going on and on. So what a normal guy would think is like that friend now is like, wow, this guy's a total whore. Fuck him or whatever. Or let's say 2-3 days go down the road because my friend is a bit of a player. He's not trying to like be this girl's boyfriend or anything. And even though they weren't really agreeing to that, you know, those things can happen. She may get upset. But here's the deal. This girl walked away well fucked, happy, gossiping about him, and she's going to tell everybody. Okay? She's going to tell everybody. Maybe there'll be some flack. Man, that guy's a whore. He's taking advantage of women, whatever. Okay, if he reacts to that, then everybody else is going to react to it. But if he doesn't react to it, it's just like, oh man, I have a different story about it. I mean, geez, you know, you play dumb or whatever. More of those women are going to, yes, judge him, maybe talk shit, gossip. But when they're alone with him, they're going to be like, hey, so, you know, blah, blah. Or if they even decide, a guy that's a very sexual man and a girl decides to be alone with you and she's judgmental about you, that means one thing to me. And of course, I want to find out. I want to find out if this is true. If it's not true, no big deal. But the first thing that I'm going to think is like, wow, maybe this girl's interested in finding out more. Let's see. Let me find out more. And my goal isn't to like use them or whatever. It's to see what they're like sexually. I really believe this. I know I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm sorry. But I really, really believe this. We consider friendships in this world, right, to be so rich and deep, and we have to be authentic and love everybody and get to know them, but not have sex. Then you're talking to an incomplete fucking person. That is crazy. How can I be friends with you? How can I make a choice about you sexually or in a relationship without having sex with you? With you blocking your sexuality or thinking that it's a bad thing. That is so just dumb. And that represses our culture more and more. And then we come up with these rules and then we get into pickup, or if you're a girl, you might get into some like woman's blog thing that has so much to do with you not having sex or learning to master it and control it rather than have it. Man, if I want to get to know somebody, if I'm going to call them a close friend, I'm attracted to them, the best thing I can do is actually have sex with them to get to know them. Okay, so if I can play that off and not buy into the gossip and the drama, it's only going to up my chances with the social circle. In this case, 2 best friends. Man, if you hook up with one before the other, so what? God, get her to tell her friend about it. Man, if I had that situation, and I have many times, it's like I will be fucking her because, again, the sexual state has a different sexual mind. So in the sexual state, a whole world opens up. In the arousal state, very different. Okay, so people talk about rape fantasies and stuff like that. In the arousal or courtship state, not the coolest thing to talk about. People are not going to be as open to it. But when they're in the sexual state, the fucking world's open. So I'll be doing things like this in the sexual state. Let's say if I hook up with the one friend and I'll be like, fuck, man, you're so fucking hot. Are you going to fucking tell? Are you going to tell whatever her friend's name is? Are you going to tell Nicole how fucking good my dick is, huh? Are you going to walk with my fucking cum sprayed all over your shirt and go and hug her or whatever? Are you going to go walk around, go hit on a guy when my cum is still like in your underwear or whatever the fuck it is? There's all sorts of shit. If you get it down to the cum, like the girls go nuts. And if you don't, if you just want to like turn and burn these girls, like, cause that is a thing. Like if you just want to hook up with them and not talk to them, don't do that shit. But if you want to continue to build a relationship, whether it is just sexual or it's sexual and emotional, you can go that route and it'll bring up like a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So don't worry about that. If you hook up one of the friends first, cool. Let her talk to the friend. Ask her about it. You know, fucking, and I wouldn't ask her about it when you're in a social state and you're eating pizza and drinking beer, but like, when you're making out with them or you're at the bar with them and like they are a little bit, you know, inebriated, or maybe they're not, that actually doesn't matter. But it's like you go like, hey, I really liked the other night, you know, and you whisper in their ear or something. You say, but like, who did you tell? You probably told your friends. Did you tell Vicky about it? Huh? Oh my God. Now you can't leave me alone with her because she's going to want me because she knows how good it was or whatever. And so you can joke about it like that, but don't worry about the talking them into it at that point. Here's all you need to do, which then we get to the second part of the question. Do you think I should go to the bar with both of them? You can, doesn't matter. Then pull them back. You can, doesn't matter. Or ask them to both hang out during the day. You can, or lightly escalate. Man, here's all you need to do. You need to get a situation where this can happen. And again, talk to Gary about this. Talk about like his jacuzzi time. I don't know what the fuck happens, but somehow it's like, look at my dick. You like, who's going to have a kissing contest or a blowjob contest or whatever, yada, yada, yada. Breaks it open. But here's what I would always do. Get them in the room, hang out with them and just go, no, man, you know, like we're in an apartment, we're on a couch, we're like watching something. And then all I need to do is get one in the sexual state and use the other one to get in a sexual state through that. Okay. So pickup dudes are all like power playing, like, well, I'm going to show more value to one, or my primary girl, whatever, man. Cool. If you have a girlfriend, respect her, have her be the first one. She'll be the one who probably makes you come. You don't want to fuck that bridge up. But you know, if they're both equals, which it sounds like it, start with one. Say no. Or start with them doing it to each other. So basically the thing is you want them in a sexual state. Here's how they're going to get in a sexual state. If they start kissing each other, if one starts kissing you, but then it's like, well, what about the third one? If she starts kissing me, then it's very simple. You say, man, do you think that's hot? How she kissed me. I bet you're not as good of a kisser as her or whatever. You're just trying to get them in the sexual state. It's not a power play. It's not like a neg. It's not like a comparison. I mean, it is a comparison, but it's to get them in that sexual state. That's what fucking matters. That is it. And here's how it will go, or here's how it would go if I did it. Very, very clear. Both get in the room. Hey, fun, whatever. Oh my God. Like this and that is happening. You watch some TV, whatever, just to calm it down, chill it out. Whatever it is you do. I mean, I've never drank during, well, part of my pickup career I did, but for a lot of it, I didn't, you know, for like 8 years of like some of the most active times I didn't. And so, you know, I'd just be like, well, come here, you know, or let's say if it was, because you can do threesomes with 2 guys, 1 girl, or you can do it with 2 girls, 1 guy. Everybody has a fantasy about 2 girls, 1 guy, but it gets kind of old. Well, I think it does. Sometimes you have to work too hard, or I don't know. But anyway, so either way, it's like, well, look, no, man, why are you afraid to kiss me in front of your friends? Why? Why not? Like, who's the better kisser? People say I'm a bad kisser. Or here's this. You don't even have to, if there's resistance towards that, don't even kiss my lips. Here, I want you guys just like, I don't want anything. I don't want you girls. I'm keeping my dick right here. My pants are on. I'll fucking put like 4 belts over it and pour like wax over it. So you have to break it off in order to, yeah, like we're not doing anything. So basically take sex off the table so we can reintroduce sex in a non-threatening way. So like, look, if you guys want to do something, we can, but I'm keeping my pants on unless you guys really want to do something. So it looks like not, but I want to see who the better kisser is. And if you're afraid to kiss my lips, just kiss my neck. Who can get me turned on most? But we don't have to go farther than that. I just want to see. Okay. Or you can have them kiss each other or whatever. A lot of times there's actually on a TSL call, some guy bet me, this was like in 2009 or something, that I couldn't get a chick to sexually escalate on the call with the guys. And I said, really? Like, I'll win that bet. There's no problem. Like I can pick like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I was like, man, I'll even take the bet further. I can get her to fuck you on the calls and have everybody listen. And you should bring it up on a Sunday call because Terrence was on that. And I believe Gary was on it too. But like basically it was like, she's like, I'm not going to fuck your friend. Like, what the fuck? I know what you're trying to do, man. And I'm like, you don't have to fuck my friend. Like, you can make a choice about it. But like, let's get sexual. That's the arousal part. I'm not going to fuck your friend. That's the resistance. Well, why? And because you don't want to, because you're afraid, you're repulsed by them, whatever. And I don't want to have that discussion, but I know I need to find out the why of that. So get her in a sexual state. And it's like, well, look, is it okay if he jerks off? Like, look at his dick. Do you want him to come? He's fucking getting off to you. Like, fucking look at that. Like, you're telling me you don't want to play with your pussy in front of this guy. That's fucking hot. He doesn't have to do anything. Stay over there. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, he'll stay over there. I'll kick his ass if he doesn't. This guy's like a judo black belt and a jujitsu black belt. And like, fucking, I'm not kicking his ass. But anyway, it it had to get to the point where it was like, all right, this is okay. Anyway, long story short, we both fucked her on the call. Woo. So you want to get them in that sexual state, and it's very easy to do. So exactly what would happen, I know I said this a few minutes ago, but let me just go through it fairly quickly. I'd get them to kiss me in some way. I'd show my arousal towards the kissing. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so fucking hot. Look at how hard my dick is. Okay, don't look. We're not going there. Wait a minute. Christine got it harder. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Like, here, do you want to, is it okay if I pull it out? I know you guys are thinking about how big my dick is. When girls get a relationship with your dick, it's like, it sets something off. So first off, the key is they did something to you and you showed arousal towards it. It was hot. That's what turned you on. It wasn't because they have tits. It wasn't because they're women. It wasn't because they're object. It wasn't because it was a threesome, which is all the things that women think. Like, you like me for these other reasons, okay? In the arousal state. In the sexual state, it's cool that you like them for their tits and whatever. But in the arousal state, no. I liked you from the experience of you kissing me. That was hot. Fuck. God damn. That's what got my dick hard. Jeez. I know you guys are thinking about how big my dick is or whatever. Like, you want to see it? Fuck. It's about to come. Like, I know you want to see it, but I can't even do much. I can't even fuck you guys because I'm like ready to blow or whatever. And they'll get all excited. So, okay, show me. Okay, touch it. And at this point, they would just go, from my experience, or I would be aggressive enough to make stuff happen. But it's as simple as this. Once they see your dick and once they realize that it was them that's making it hard and it's not just hard, it's a concept that guys don't get. If your dick is hard because they're women and have a pussy, it's not cool. But if your dick is hard because they specifically, with their certain je ne sais quoi, made it hard, their essence of self, how they kissed you, their action, it's hot as fuck. Okay? Once that happens, it's like, okay, you know, Patricia's going to fuck you, but I'm not going to fuck you. Okay, cool. Watch. You don't like looking at this? Here, make out with me while my dick's in her pussy. It's actually a funny thing because I said, like, your primary chick, don't let the like, if you have a girlfriend, like, don't let the non-girlfriend, like, get you off better than the girlfriend has, because that won't be cool unless you guys are doing this a lot, like, multiple times. It's like a regular orgy thing, which you wouldn't need my advice then. But, dude, do not do that. Like, so there were times where I was with this one girl and, her friend just gave way better blowjobs, man. And it was like the full works, like blowjobs. And like, this is actually a funny story because I videotaped it. And then I saw my buddy in Arizona, and this is always a weird thing. Like, I was like, look at these two chicks I fucked. You know, I'm showing him the video, and he's like, whoa. And he got like way too into it. It's like, I was like, dude, you're looking at all the parts with my dick, dude. Chill the fuck out, man. It's like, you're supposed to be looking at the chicks. And it was like a show off thing. You're way too into this, like, stupid porno I made. But anyway, but yeah, so I was like, dude, the new girl, the girl that I didn't know, was like totally going to make me fucking blow my load. So it was just, and I wanted it to happen. It was just too good, man. It was too good. So I was like, look, I want to be making out with you when I come, to the girl that I was mainly with. And then it kind of carried it over. So that was one of the things. But very simply, man, get the situation. Like, don't hang out with the daytime bar. You can. Fuck. Get him back to your place. That's all that matters. Get him back to your place. Get him back to your place. Relax. Spend 15 minutes just chilling. And then get in the sexual state. You get in the sexual state usually by kissing. Women get tripped hard by that. They get tripped hard, like on those stupid PUA infield videos where the guys are like going like, I'm going to make out with you. That's cool. That's like, I've never really done that. I mean, I've made out with a lot of chicks, but I've never gone up to this on the street and just be like, let's make out. No, let's make out. No, let's make out. Okay. But the girls get in a state. The dumb fucking pussy dipshits. Once again, like my buddy said, these guys are like, they don't care about sex. They're just obsessed with like attention. They're just obsessed with attention. Wow, all the dudes who don't get laid, like on YouTube, like my video, and I got a lot of comments, and I'm going to start a PUA business. Yeah, whatever. The thing that they're throwing away is those girls all get tripped in state. All they would have to do is, once they're tripped in state because they're in public and they can't continue to escalate, right? Which is one of the principles of escalation. Escalate in a place where you can close. You can't close there. So you then go like, no, that was totally weird. We just like made out, but you're like really cool. Like, tell me about yourself. Are you from here? Did you grow up with your mom, your dad, blah, 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 blah. Find out something real about them. logistically, you just need to talk to them about that 2 minutes and then get the number, set up a date, bang. And there would be all this resistance up until then. But if you're good enough if you're brazen enough to be like, let's make out. No, you'd be like, let's make out again and see what you like. Let's see if we could do it and not, do a weird thing or whatever. And then you'd actually have sex with people, but nobody's goals are that. Fuck them. So look, dude, threesome, make it happen. Get them in the same room. Get them to make out with either you or each other. Compare. Allow them to be turned on and aroused by how you're kissing the other one. Get them as soon as you can get them to your dick. Like, oh my God, look, why are you looking at my crotch? Fuck. Even if they're not looking at your crotch, get them invested in the dick. Once a girl realizes that she and that experience that she is presenting, even if it's with her friend, made your dick hard, sexual state just doop, tips over, and then you're there and it's awesome. And even if there's resistance within it, it's like, cool, no big deal. Just watch. If you leave us, it's going to ruin it. Like, don't do that. Like, fuck, let yourself like it. I know you like it. It's cool. So try that. If you can get in your place with them, that's what matters. If you can get them both to engage in a sexual act, that matters. If it fucks up or implodes, all right, no big deal. But you've just now learned 2 very specific key points of where it will work eventually if you keep trying.